Anyways, so like I was going over, some of the things about it. Uh Now, okay. All right, so I'm gonna read the like everything, just like okay. Now, sometimes, like it says in here, sometimes that God has made these. Where is it? Where are you? Where did they go? Something like I don't remember. Supposedly, God has made these to something new. Made these to something new. Or something like that, and I forgot what exactly it was. And then I was going over it, and I think I wanted to start somewhere where actually it was good, because I'll go back to the book of Job. So, alright, so we're gonna go to a good chapter, which is Habakkuk, and not read even, what do you call it? I don't know, what do you call it? I guess it would be Paul's Galatians. I'm thinking to myself, are you freaking kidding me? In Nahum 3, thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people are scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them. Okay, well, according to the last thing they did, the king of Assyria is a white woman. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so anyways, let's go to Habakkuk, right? So Habakkuk. Now, this is why I like Made to Express, and sometimes I disagree with the cartoons of it. Why? The reason why, like, not like what their concepts of it's bullying. It is bullying, but it's really like, how do I explain it? Ooh. You know what's weird is that if you ask a guy which one he's more afraid of, and the guys want to be the ones in control of other people's narcissisms, but when you ask a guy which one bothers you more, hauntings or like something else, and you'll be surprised which ones bother them more. You will. You'd be literally fucking surprised. Okay, so anyways, and like I know at this point which one I would pick, but that's just me. And because I'm good at getting right in the center of it for some reason. Thanks God, I guess. Alright, so here we go. So God says in Habakkuk, Habakkuk talks to God and says, thou art of pure eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest the tongue when wicked men devoureth. Number 12 goes, art thou not from the everlasting? And so like I have to like put it just a little bit there. And then just above it, it says something about like Assyria, and it was like a white woman. I was like, oh dear. And then, if that's what they did to the last colonial, okay, so now we're gonna go, where is it? So then, the books that's like really correct is Habakkuk and Zephaniah. that's really what I'm seeing here, because but for the hard, difficult ones, it supposedly says in Haggai that ye have sown much and bring in little. This is true. Ye eat, but ye have not enough, supposedly. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. That's because like they don't care about the grain anymore. That's usually if they start getting more what do you call it? Yeah, like if you study it or whatever, you'll understand. Ye clothe, but there is none warm, and ye that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes, pretty much, yeah. Okay, so because even if you made enough, it's not gonna be enough. Because I don't know, I was going over somebody else's, which is Mudahar, one video where one has the goat on the upper end, and then below it has a chick that's barely, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like she's not enough or something. So like the one where the goat is, they'll like say before they even get to the point, they'll say your baby will starve, and then they Balthazar. And then they like, you know, places of living is $4,000 a month or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I hang out with the colonialite because I know he can't be happy about that either. So that's why I wanted to go into the horse thing. They do not like horses. And they use everything. Even my phone's for some reason, horses in general, they use every bit of Job to scratch the neck. Horses, if it's outside the country, they run longer, but they literally were shooting horses in Nevada, and it's a quarter with 3 horses on it. They've been using 3s a lot. So if I go to like the next page over to like Zechariah, which I'm not a Zechariah fan at this moment, where it has supposedly in Satan, they've been using 3s, but they didn't like the 3 horses that ran free. So like the guy, they were saying that they were El Salvadorian, but I was like, yeah, okay, nah, probably not, because they have probably they literally have changed their identity a couple of fucking times already. So I mean, not like their identity, how do I explain it? They tried to tattoo a star system on their, and it's, you know, it's been around before you called someone else Salvadorian, so I don't give a shit. And it doesn't mean that it makes the earth flattened like your croissant to walk all over, but I would say that, when they did the documentary, I just watched a documentary, and you know, the little bit of it's a little off of Pavarotti, you know, but the actual Pavarotti, that was good, you know, like that I did the thing, and when he went all the way through it, yeah, he saw a lot of the strange medical practices. Okay, and then they had to add in a couple of sentences to it. But the documentary is not complete, but it's just, it's like, you know, all right. So, the documentary on supposedly what happened in Iraq, that he blew up all his oil fields, and of course that actually made the horses run, but ironically they run good, and when they do run, it's not something you want to scratch their neck on, because obviously especially if it's not coming from a foreign country, it's not like running against you. It's not even, and to be quite honest and frank, it wouldn't even be running from the country that I was running from, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So I never understood it. So then you'd have to um, go to the mountains and build a woodshed in Haggai, but then still deal with some sort of supposed three thing, but they don't even like the three horses. And they're like, oh, but it's four horses and stuff like that. And um, that's why there's a quarter, because they've been doing this. Everyone gets to be a six on each corner, but by the time that happens already, I mean, what are you saying, right? And this is why it's just Jesus, and they've been doing that thing a lot. So then I was going over it, and then I went back to Nahum, which at some point it wasn't too bad, but I don't remember where it was. I was reading. Yeah, like just that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Micah. Well, not Micah. I'm going to go to Job. And Job is just so... This thing is that people will just say you're disagreeing with God. I can honestly literally show you differences, complete whole sentences, paragraphs even, missing paragraphs in one Bible to the next. I literally can. And I can show you that the maps are off. So I can just tell you that. That's why I was reading from here, and I was reading from Job again about it. And then I went to the end chapters, right? Because I know that they tried to jump Job with bullfrog, jump Job bullfrog, or grasshopper. Grasshopper still is all of us are going to Taiwan to watch a whale explode in the street or something. Like, that makes a lot of sense and stuff. So, we're gonna go all the way to the end to something good after, crying about how they almost, wiped everything out. And then, you're sitting there, not God, not God, but then he turns their heads and goes on Job 41:42. After this, lived Job 140 years, and he saw his sons and his sons, and even 4 generations. So something about Job carries on for another 140 years, plus 4 generations, and he keeps them alive. But everyone else was just so, I don't know. So we'll just go ahead and keep that, because it's good. Because then once you fucking cry a little in Job about what they kind of basically did, and you kind of compare it with other chapters where it looks like everything is just a curse over and over again. It's like, ooh, And then you can go back to Matthew. You can, especially if they heard of Colonna, I take chapter 14 in Herod and I just flick it. But sometimes people don't know what happened, so oh. Anyway, so then, but he that receiveth the seed in stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy and receive it. Then you have to jump there. And he also that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, that the cares of this world and deceitfulness choke the word. Okay, and then we're going to go here, 23. But he receiveth the seed into good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30, and then jump, and then I'm just doing this for your rabbits. I'm going to the next one, okay? So another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. And then you can do the tares one afterwards. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So I made sure I gave back my wheat. I said what, because out of the original old occasion of Babylon, I gave back a quarter, about a tare. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So, and I don't hate the whole Joshua thing. It's just, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's just that then you should just let the horses do their thing, you know? So then the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow seed in the field from whence they have it tares? And I did do an LE test on it though. He said unto them, An enemy have done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that he go and gather them? So basically, after the blade is sprung on the fruit, then appears the tares also. So, says that. That's it. Okay.